Hello, Crafty Peeps. Welcome back to my channel, Crafty-ish Kristyn. Today we have a WIP and Chatty Rant. WIP stands for work in progress. Right now, my work in progress is Jasper Sea. Ooh, it's upside down. By Diamond Art Club. It is a round and it measures 56 centimeters by 74 centimeters. I am just at the halfway mark. I will put a photo of what my progress looks like so far up on the side, so somewhere over there, and that will give you an idea of how far I have gotten. I am doing this for Lust After Dusk, an event hosted by Kitten Up Kitten, and if I can figure out how to link that below, I will try that. I think there's a hashtag. So let's get started. I am going to be starting with my equal sign symbol, a nice pink, and we will get this party started. I am working at my easel, so I am hoping that it is a much easier angle for me. Yeah, so if you want to pull out something and work on at the same time, if you listen while you do the dishes or cook dinner, hey, that's cool too. I don't mind. I had the unfortunate luck this weekend to get my credit card information stolen. That was not how I wanted to deal with my Saturday. I was sitting here diamond painting and I got a text message, and I don't click on links when it looks like it's from a bank when I get a text message, because I don't trust that. So it said that it was from my credit card, but I was like, oh, I don't know about that. So I, went online and I used the app, and there was like huge red screen pops up and it's like, warning, you need to confirm these purchases. And I look at the purchases and I'm like, yeah, no, that was not me. I did not spend $1,000 on concert tickets. So there were 3 charges for concert tickets. Then I guess a day ago, there was a $0 charge from some carburetor company, which if I would have seen that, I'd have been like, what the hell is that? And I might have gotten, the hint. So yeah, I had to click on all of the charges. There was another charge that was made and then instantly refunded. And so I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, thank goodness I caught it before, they canceled my credit card. Because I had that happen with some magazine subscriptions before, and I didn't catch it in time, and so they did the whole, oh, well, you didn't catch it, you didn't contact us, so we're, changing your card number and you can't use your card for a week. Well, even though I caught these and I instantly disputed them, apparently it doesn't matter. So they said, oh, the little response said, thank you so much for your quick action. Now we'll send you a new card in, 5 to 7 business days. I was like, no, because now my main credit card that, everything comes out of, because that's how I want, I want to get all the points as much as possible. So, anything I buy online comes out of that credit card. Any kind of, subscription, like we have cat litter, we have the cat food, Amazon, everything, all of the charitable donations, literally everything comes off of that credit card. And we pay it off every month. So, I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of, horrible debt on it or anything like that. So my first thought was like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad at the people who, who knows how they got my credit card. We went to the ocean last week or the week before. So I'm like, well, maybe, there was a card skimmer somewhere, but I think that people can just randomly get your credit card number from lots of places, or they just put in a bunch of credit card numbers and hope one sticks. So yeah, so that is not how I wanted to start my weekend off, is by trying, oops, that one is super crooked, trying to figure out, like, how do I rectify this situation. But luckily, nowadays, they've gotten smart, and so if one person's credit card is been compromised because they don't have the same credit card number anymore, now at least, like, my husband's Costco Visa still works, but of course everything automatic comes out of my card, because that's just, how it's been set up over the years. So yeah, that's super frustrating. And I know there's much worse problems to be had, but yeah, so today I was about to place an order from Diamond Art Club, even though I was trying not to buy anything, because I want to try some different companies, which, if you have any companies that you've tried that, have licensed artwork and, were good quality, please let me know, because I would like to support other companies, because Diamond Art Club just has everybody by the, whatever is you call it, short hairs or everything. But I had to order from Diamond Art Club because on Monday, when I was just, sitting there minding my own business, scrolling through Facebook, I had an image pop up, and it was the Strawberry Shortcake collection. And being a child of the 80s, I audibly gasped, as one does when they see something that they're just completely shocked that it is in front of them. So, first my husband goes, "What's wrong? What?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then he's like, "What?" And I said, they're going to have Strawberry Shortcake, and it says Strawberry Shortcake Collection, which means there's going to be more than one. He's like, "Oh, no, I thought it was actually like something important." Oh my goodness, the cat just jumped up on my diamond painting table. Absolutely not. You get down. Seriously, he's getting be a pain in my butt. So, naturally I freaked out, and I was like, that means there's going to be more than one, because if they're releasing them and they're going to be on sale on a Wednesday, it's going to be like the Marvel releases where they do a bunch and they release it midweek. And so I was super excited, and I ended up getting only two. I was good. I got the picnic one with multiple characters, and then I got just the single image of Strawberry Shortcake, which I watched in unboxing, and the background on that one, and it's a round, which I was like, no, not a round, because I really am not a big fan of the rounds. But it's Strawberry Shortcake. I'll deal with it. But the whole background is just like one big old color block, which again is not my favorite, because I never can make it look right. And with rounds, I really can't make a giant color blocked area look right. So that one's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but I'll persevere. But I was so excited that the picnic one was a square, because I much prefer squares, and it's got Strawberry Shortcake, and it has Huckleberry Pie, and I think it has Raspberry Tart, and the apricot one, or I can't remember what their name is. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. So I've only got two, which I could have gotten more, but I was not about to buy the newer characters. They must have a new show on like Netflix or something with the characters revamped. They keep doing it, and it's like, no thank you. I want the old school characters that are all watercolory looking and they don't look like giant brat dolls. I don't know. It's just not my thing. But, other people might want those ones, which, you do you, boo. So I got two of those. And then I had really been wanting the Christopher Lovell the dolphin diamond painting that it looks like, you know, it could have been on the front of a Lisa Frank folder. I got that one too, because I'd really been looking at it and I'm like, I don't need any more. I don't need any more. But I was like, well, I'm using, you know, I'm already using my credit card and I'm going to buy, I wanted to try one of their multi-placers because everybody's like, you know, said really good things about their new skinny multi-placers. So I was like, well, since I'm ordering, because I wasn't going to order the multi-placers when they came back in stock because I'm not going to pay like $10 shipping for a $15 item. So no thank you. So I got those. So I will definitely do an unboxing of those when I get them. And I'm gonna film an unboxing of something I already have this week as well. It is the new Garfield and Odie painting from their anniversary sale. So I'm going to do that one for my son because he loves Garfield. But I am going to change it up because, you know, boys can have pink. I get it. But I'm not really a big fan of the pink background. So I'm going to do this little triangle square next. So, and it is a round. And so I am actually going to order a different color drills for that, for the background. And it's all like solid pink color blocking. So I am going to order a different color and then try the mica powder hack that I have seen online. And I think Jada Gem Shop was one of the first ones who posted about it. I saw her video and I was super intrigued because if I can, I mean, and you may not even be able to see the background that much, but I figure, you know what, I'll try it. And if it looks a hot mess, he won't care. He's got like a shelf in his room just dedicated to Garfield because he's been into Garfield since he was a toddler. And so we have lots of random Garfield memorabilia that like my husband and I have picked up over the years, you know, like antique stores, and you know, I have various Christmas ornaments that we've gotten from garage sales that are from like, you know, the 90s and the 80s and everything else. So he's got a bunch of random Garfield stuff. So I figure it can hang next to the area that he calls his Garfield shrine. So he has loved Garfield since, I mean, he learned to read. He learned to read at a really young age, and it was not because we forced him to read. Like, I had actually had somebody tell me that I was not a very good parent because I forced my kid to read. And I was like, first of all, hold up. You don't know me. And second of all my kid wanted to do, like, most of the time was look at books and have books read to him when he was a baby and a toddler. You would ask him, okay, what do you want to do? And he would bring you a stack of books. So he learned to read by osmosis and watching, you know, things like, you know, PBS Kids and Sprout and things where they, you know, made literacy an actual, you know, focus of the show. Oh my gosh, that slipped all over the place. So yeah, I did not force him to read. I actually got some sight word flashcards from the dollar store or Big Lots or one of those places when he started preschool when he was 3. And, you know, I had gotten some other ones with pictures with words on them. And, you know, I was showing him the flashcards and, you know, he had just started kind of talking. He was a late talker, so. And so I had the flashcards and I had the ones without the words on them. And I opened him up and I was just kind of looking at him and he just comes over and he just starts reading the words. And I'm like, these are words without pictures. These are words like above, below, you know, under, around. And it kind of scared me a little because I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm sorry. Are you reading these words? And he read them all and was like, okay, I'm gonna go play. And, you know, So then naturally I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to get my cell phone real quick. And I recorded him reading these words that had no pictures, that were sight words that, you know, aren't really words that most kids would be sounding out at 3 years old. And I sent a video to my husband and I'm like, he can read these. And we both were like, holy crap. And just from there, it just, you know, he just read everything. We'd go to the grocery store and, you know, he would be reading the labels, you know, canned corn, you know, peas, you know, sweet potato. And we like, you know, then you'd go to like the bakery and he'd be like, oh, chocolate chip cookies. And people are like, oh, he's so sweet. And then he's like, what's a snickerdoodle? And people would be like, whoa. And one day we were at the pharmacy and he's like, Mommy, what's a pharmacy? And I was like, what? He goes, pharmacy. What's a pharmacy? And I was like, oh, you mean that's pharmacy. The PH makes an F sound. And people would just be looking at me like, what? Why is your kid reading the pharmacy sign? It's like, dude, he likes to read. I can't do anything about it. So anyways, that was a side rant, but he loves Garfield. So I'm going to attempt to change out the drill color on the background and try the mica powder hack. I mean, my mom has a ton of embossing powders, and so I'm hoping maybe I can just, you know, use one of those without embossing it, obviously. Yeah, it could be a hot mess. We will see. So yes, I did get the strawberry shortcakes. That was super exciting. Credit card stealing was super lame. And so yeah, this morning when I was trying to order, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure I have a different card on file. Because naturally, you know, my credit card was the one that I had on file for Diamond Art Club. And luckily I was able, but like, that's like my PayPal credit card too. Oh my gosh, I am just, oh my gosh, making a mess. I'm all over the place. Oh, goodness. Okay. There's that. Yeah, I made a huge mess in the kitchen on Sunday. We use a French press for coffee because, I don't know, a few years ago I watched some videos about Keurigs, and I mean, are obviously not really the best thing for the environment because the little plastic cups can't be recycled in most places. I know they can't be recycled where we live because of just the type of plastic and the size of plastic and all that. So we stopped using them a few years ago, and then we had a regular coffee maker, but again, like, we were just having the hardest time with cleaning it. And I watched, you know, I had watched videos about the Keurig and how it was really hard to clean, and how, like, you know, the areas inside the tubing where the water goes down, like how you can't really efficiently clean that. So you're never going to be able to get all of the moisture out of it for it to dry. And so there's going to be a certain level of skank hanging out in the tubing. And I didn't really like the idea of drinking, you know, weird moldy bits. So we got rid of the Keurig. And then we were kind of having the same problem with the coffee maker because it never was dry. And so I'm like, okay, well, what the heck am I supposed to use? Because I want coffee. And I really did miss the whole, you know, being able to pre-program the coffee maker. And I'll do plus sign next, plus sign. You know, I liked being able to set the coffee maker the night before. So, you know, you're not thinking about making coffee, first thing in the morning. So we got a French press, and we got one of those, you know, hot water heaters, a little, you know, portable thing you put hot water in and it magically makes it boil. So we did that. Well, I don't like my coffee as strong as my husband. He could just drink, you know, sludge, and he'd be like, this isn't strong enough. So, you know, he always jokes that he has to add instant coffee to his coffee that I make because it's not strong enough. And so Sunday morning, he was up first, and so he made coffee, and, you know, I always make sure I don't put as much in my cup when he makes it because his is stronger than mine. And so I was kind of half asleep still because I was like, we got to get up, we got to go to church. And so I'm looking right at my coffee cup, and I'm got, you know, my little sugar Splenda or, you know, monk fruit jar, whatever. I have it open and I'm looking right at my coffee cup, and I poured my spoonful onto the counter just next to it, like not even paying. I mean, I was paying attention. That was the worst part. I paid attention to myself putting it on the counter. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you? I have no one to blame because it's not like there was a cat meowing or a kid asking me a question, or there was nothing. It was literally just me doing that. I was like, oh my gosh, if this is what today is going to be like, I'm just going to go back to bed because that's not a good way to start the day. So then when I put in my collagen powder mixed with cacao powder, I made sure that I put it in the right thing, which was the coffee cup, not the counter. So it's always fun when you mess up and do that. And so then my son, he actually went out with a friend for his birthday, which he had a good time. They went to some board game store in the mall, and food and Menchie's, which I was only really jealous of the frozen yogurt because I love frozen yogurt. I love the fact that you can put on as much candy as you want. So it's not like when you go to Dairy Queen or something and you get a Blizzard and you pay, $5+ for a Blizzard that's like missing a bunch of the candy. Like, I love frozen yogurt because it's like, I want all the candy and I want a lot of it, or I don't want very much, but you get to choose. So I was like, trying to not be the helicopter parent and texting my kid every 5 minutes going, hey, where are you? Are you having a good time? Are you being safe? Are you making good choices? And so I was trying to look at the Find My on his phone, because we have apples, and so I can kind of see where he is to, just make sure he's, not halfway across the border or something. I don't know. I don't think that the people he was with, they're all very nice. So I don't think they would have tried to, take my kid across the Canadian border. So, but I'm like sitting there going, why is this not working? Why can I not see where he is? So it's just giving me, an approximate location, which is like a giant circle. I mean, the circle was encompassing like 3 cities. And I'm like, that's not really helpful. I mean, yeah, great. He's in one of these cities, but yeah, I was like, why is it? Like, literally, like, the one time I want to check and see where he is and make sure everything's okay, the dumb thing is not working. Because it's always working, like, it's just the one time. I'm like, oh, seriously. So, then you text them and you're like, hey, how are things going? And like, are you having a good time? And I just get a one word answer of yes. And I'm like, okay, I asked how it was going. Yes is not, that's not an answer. And so then you just get another yes. I'm like, okie dokie then. So we have a Chick-fil-A that opened up in our city, and it opened not long after we moved here. But before, I think we had the first Chick-fil-A in our state open up by one of our older houses. And we never actually went to that location because the line to get in there was so crazy always. I remember when it first opened, they had, cops directing traffic because it was so chaotic, and like you could only get into the Chick-fil-A from one side of the street. That's how busy it was. We never went because I'm like, I don't really know if that food is going to be worth waiting in line, 20 cars deep. Just, I don't know. And so we just never went. And I was like, okay. And so when we moved to our house that we live in now, not long after, it was announced that a Chick-fil-A was opening up. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll try it when we move. And so we finally tried it after they had opened and it wasn't so crazy busy. And I honestly did not understand what all the fuss was about. I'm like, and maybe it's because I don't get a chicken sandwich because I only really like the chicken nuggets. But I'm like, this is what everybody is like wetting themselves over? I do not understand it. Some people, Chick-fil-A is their ride or die. That if they have a choice, they will go to Chick-fil-A. And I don't know. I tried. I really like their mac and cheese. I will say that. And so my Chick-fil-A hack is to get the chicken nuggets, or not the tenders, but not the strips, whatever they call them. I think they're called nuggets. I don't even know. I don't go often enough to know what everything's called. Get the macaroni and the chicken bits, I guess you could say. And then I will get the buffalo sauce, and I will kind of put the buffalo sauce on the chicken tenders and then mix that into my macaroni to make a buffalo mac and cheese. Otherwise, their fries, at least the one by us, maybe it's different. Let me know if your Chick-fil-A has awesome fries. But you could go through the drive-thru and those fries will be not hot, like have no salt on them, and they will be soggy. And I cannot do soggy fries. I like crispy, crunchy, like skinny fries. I mean, I can do waffle fries if they're crunchy and not, just soggy and sad. And so for me, I'm always like, I don't really want to go to Chick-fil-A because I feel like I'm overpaying for what I am getting. And on the topic of credit cards, I actually had them not give me my debit card back once. And because I got home and I went somewhere else, and then I was like, where's my card? That's weird. And so they had just not handed it back because it was busy. And I was like, okay. But the problem is that they double ran my credit card for like the order behind me because they thought that was that person's credit card. Well, they didn't void it. And so when I had to call the store and be like, hey, yeah, my credit card got charged twice, and is it at your store? And they're like, oh yeah, it's in the store. It's in the vault. And I'm like, okay, can you take off that charge? And they're like, oh no, we can't credit that back because that was from like a transaction from yesterday. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? No, I'm not paying for someone else's food. Well, if you come in, we'll give you a free meal. And I'm like, no, I don't want a free meal. I want the money back on my card. Like, it's like I didn't really want the first meal that I got, but I did because, people in the car wanted Chick-fil-A. And so it was this huge production. They finally gave me a gift card with that amount on it. But I was so annoyed. I'm like, just credit me the money back. Or they couldn't give me cash for some reason either. I'm like, this is not my problem. This is your guys' problem. I guess I technically did not pay attention to you not giving me my credit card back, but you should at least credit me back the way that it was taken from me. So that was kind of annoying. So again, Chick-fil-A is not my favorite spot. I don't get it. So I don't know. And maybe I'm just not ordering the right thing. I don't like mayonnaise. And mayonnaise-based sauces, I can't do it. And so most things on like a chicken sandwich or you know, even like a regular hamburger are mayonnaise based. And so, you know, I'm not going to get a nice creamy chicken sandwich because that just sounds, ugh. I do like that they have Diet Dr. Pepper though. I will say that. And I know everybody's like loves their crunchy ice, which I don't know. I mean, I like crunchy ice, but I also just kind of like drink my drink and then I'm done with my beverage. I don't know. So my husband and I, we were talking about, well, we were in the car for an extended period of time. We were talking about, you know, old ads from like, you know, the 80s, like magazine ads and stuff, and how, you know, like cigarettes, it was always, you know, welcome to flavor country, or just absurd things that, you know, wouldn't really, you couldn't do it now. Let's put it that way. But it made me think about, I had watched somebody do an unboxing from, I think it was Carrot Art. I could be saying that wrong. But on the side of the box and on the canvas, it says, "Let the pleasure begin." And that just made me laugh so hard that I don't know if I could, and maybe it's just because I have like the mind of a teenage boy, but I don't know if I could be working on a canvas and having the slogan, like, "Let the pleasure begin," slap me in the face every time I look at it, because I would just start to giggle. And same with, I think, Dreamer Designs. Theirs is Paint with Passion, which isn't as bad as "Let the pleasure begin." But, I mean, just, oh, like, really? No one in the planning room for the slogan for the company thought to themselves, maybe people might not take this the way we're intending it. So I don't know, but it makes me laugh every time. Now, every time I see like a diamond painting unboxing, I'm always like, oh, what kind of awkward, cringy slogan are we gonna see? But so far, I think it's only those two that I've noticed that are like just kind of laughable. But yes. I know I had to go to Walmart to get something, and I mean, of course I had to stop through the school supply aisle, because how do you go to Walmart without stopping at the school supply aisle when it's that time of year? And it was kind of disappointing. It's just, I don't know, like, I guess I don't really need anything, so maybe I was like, I really don't need any notebooks. I mean, my kids need a few things, but not a ton of stuff. I mean, we don't need any pens or pencils or markers or crayons. I mean, we have that for years and years and years. But it was just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of disappointing. And it just, you know, it's like every year the stuff just gets, like, the quality is cheaper and, you know, more poorly made, so they can, you know, oh my gosh, I am way off on that. You know, they're trying to, I mean, I get it. They're trying to not charge a bunch of money so everybody thinks that it's a good deal. But, I mean, some of the pencil cases and the backpacks and the lunch boxes and all that, I mean, they just look like after a month that they would just completely fall apart. I mean, my kids go through school supplies and they're super, super rough on it all. So, you know, I get it. But even the stuff that's supposed to be better quality, I'm still looking at those and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to really last that much longer. So if that's the case, you know, I might as well just buy the, you know, the cheap Walmart brand instead. I mean, because if I'm going to pay, you know, for the Mead 5-star notebook price, you know, I want it to actually last. But some of the pencil bags and stuff were just kind of like not, I don't know. I'm like, these don't look that much stronger than the stuff that's $4 cheaper. So I don't know. But they did have Trapper Keepers, which warmed my heart because I loved the Trapper Keepers as a child. But the new ones aren't. They're a little sturdier. They don't have the weird plastic like rings and the plastic slider. Probably because those were just not efficient and they broke super easily. But I did see one that had, it looked like it was like, you know, very Lisa Frank-esque, which is always a winner in my opinion. I wish they had Lisa Frank's school supplies. My God, I would be buying those up in record amounts. So that was like the peak coolness for school supplies when I was a kid. It was like, oh, you got the Lisa Frank cats? Oh, so jealous. Yeah, back then, at least when I was in elementary school, there was none of this like buy a box of crayons to share it with the class. It was like, no, these are my crayons. I'm not sharing my crayons with anyone. I am getting my crayons for myself. And if, you know, Billy loses his crayons or he eats them or whatever, that is not my problem. Because there's nothing worse than having to share school supplies with people who don't take care of the supplies. Because I was always like super picky about like having my crayons in order and, you know, making sure I had all the colors together and they had to be in the right color order. And, you know, I would sharpen them and do this and that and whatever. But sharing school supplies, I mean, you're going to get, first of all, you're going to get stuff that like other people have like been touching and maybe like even put it in their mouth. Oh no, my purples. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of like extra. And maybe maybe now with COVID, maybe they don't do that as much. I don't know. But the thought of like sharing my school supplies or my pencils, like, because I always wanted, you know, the cute pencils, you know, the pencils that had like a cute pattern on it. And if I had to take my pencils and just donate them to the class pencil bin, there's no freaking way. I'd be like, I'll just take these home because I bought these for myself. And my mom and dad would have been like, oh, my dad, he didn't know anything about school supplies, let's be real. But my mom would have been like, no, I didn't buy those for everyone else, I bought them for you. So, yeah. I mean, I can understand maybe like glue sticks and stuff, but things you write with and color with, absolutely not. No siree, Bob. I am really hoping to finish this canvas by the end of the month, and I should have no problem as long as I work on it and don't start working on my other WIP, which is a Gethsemane, which is a square, which I'm really enjoying. And I have hit the over halfway mark, which is super exciting. So if I just, you know, stick with this one, I should finish it. But, you know, I get bored. And I always like to kind of switch back and forth. Like, so if I finish a row on this, then I like to finish a row on the other one. But the other one, the rows take a little bit longer because they're square and, you know, they have to be placed a little bit more precisely than this one does. So, oh, I should be able to do it. It's just, you know, I like changing it up, and once it's on the easel, then I'm like, I don't want to move it. Maybe I'll do a different, you know, or I'll work on it a little bit longer, maybe just a few more squares, but then like I do what I'm doing with this one is I have my release papers like this, and then I'll be like, oh, well, I see some of that color over here, so I'll just open that one as well. And then before you know it, you're opening up every single freaking page, and then you're like, oh, yeah. Like that happened to me yesterday. I was working on this pink section, and I was like, well, I see more pink under the next release paper, so let's just open that up and get the pink done, because then, you know, I won't have to open the container. So I finished the pink, and then I was like, oh, but man, I see some of this purple over there too. So then, you know, you end up finishing that section, and you're on your next section, and you see, oh, well, there's some more of that black over there. So let's just open it up and do that. But then you end up, you know, with like 5 pieces of release paper off. And, you know, yeah, you're not going to finish all of that in one sitting for sure. And then you just have a bunch of, you know, half placed drills on a small little section, and then you're like, oh crap. Well, you don't feel like you accomplished anything because, you know, technically you're still having to cover up what you just worked on. I think some people call that color chasing or something similar. And I try not to do that, but once I start, I can't stop. It's like a bag of potato chips. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Or that's Pringles. That's not even a bag. That is a tube. A tube of potato chips. Which, I don't know, maybe Pringles changed over the years. But we bought some for the first time in a while. And I was sitting there like, oh yeah, Pringles used to always not be broken up. Because of, you know, I always thought it was because of the tube. But the salt and vinegar Pringles that we opened up, like the whole tube was just crumbs. I mean, there were maybe 10 chips in the whole package that were not broken and like little tiny pieces. It was really sad, because part of the fun with the Pringles is like, you know, eating them whole. Like it's a whole chip and it's fun little shape. And so it was just a bunch of like half broken chips and even smaller pieces. It's just not what you want. I mean, you expect that from a bag of chips, but the Pringles, I expect more out of you. But it's okay. I guess that's just the world we live in now. Oh, I missed the plus sign. I knew I would. I knew I would miss some signs, which, you know, it's okay. I don't even, half the time, I'm just lucky I remember what symbol I'm working on at that moment. Oh, and I missed another circle. See? All right, I will do, oops, nope, I have 2 more right here. 2 more. Let's see, I will do 1 more color and then probably call this good before children run downstairs and need snacks and or some nourishment. Let's see, which should I'm gonna do this line. Let's see. I don't know, and this is I think this is the newest Diamond Art Club round that I've worked on. Actually, I think this is actually the first Diamond Art Club round I have worked on. And I ordered this at a recent restock. So it was maybe 2 months ago. And I do not like these little guide circles, the little training wheels. Is that, for some reason, I thought Diamond Art Club wasn't doing that anymore. But maybe because this was an older canvas, that the original printing, the original pattern still has the guide circles, but maybe newer ones don't. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that if I don't place the drill completely straight over them, and with these rounds, I feel like I'm having to stretch them out just a little if I multi-place, which with the squares, I have not had that issue. So I don't know if it's just maybe it's an older canvas and this is not an issue anymore, or if it still is an issue, but I don't like it. I wish that if they were going to have it be round, like there's no white guide circle. Like if you want to put like a faint outline of something, go for it, dude. But the chances of me putting them all perfectly on are very slim. So the fact that I have to like kind of work and finagle them, and then I feel like, you know, they kind of sometimes they slip too a little bit out of place. So I don't know. I think that's one reason why I like squares so much, is there's not as much, I don't feel like I'm constantly like maneuvering them around after I place them. With the circles, I feel like I am just constantly fiddling with them to do that. So, but you know, it's okay. It's just, oops, there's that. So, did anyone else get any of the strawberry shortcake releases? That is what I want to know, because I cannot be the only person that was super excited for that. I would think if, you know, if Diamond Art Club's willing to spend the money on the licensing and all of that stuff, there's got to be lots of people who have been asking for that kind of diamond painting or those characters over the years. So it's like, then it makes you wonder, are they going to start getting more, you know, 80s characters? Is that even considered vintage? Is from the 80s? I don't know. I don't know where that cutoff lies, but the terms like vintage and retro, I don't know how many years something has to be old to fit in with that, but it would be interesting to see if they get more 80s characters. Like, people are like asking, oh my gosh, get the Care Bears, get Rainbow Bright, which I was a huge Rainbow Bright fan, so that would be dangerous as well, for sure, for me. Yeah, I mean, if they had like He-Man and all those, like, I could definitely see my husband actually going, yeah, you can buy that for me and do it for me, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I am going to leave it here for right now. Thank you so much for listening to my rant. If you liked this, please like, subscribe, share, do all the things, help my channel grow, and I will see you guys next time. Big awkward hugs. Bye.